So I'm here today with Paul. Paul is a client of mine who's just gone through his program, and he's here to talk to you about how we got on and what sort of happened there. So, Paul, do you want to introduce yourself to anyone that's watching?
Yeah, hi. I'm Paul. I've been on Chris's program for just about 16 weeks now, and finally coming to the end of it.
Awesome. So, Paul, what was going on before we met? What was life like? What had been happening?
Um, I'd um, I'd put on quite a lot of weight. I'd had an accident, an injury, that affected my life quite badly. I'd put on, like I say, quite a lot of weight. I'd lost a lot of motivation. I'd managed to get myself down by a stone, but I got stuck at that weight, and it was over 20. Um, 20 stones. Yeah, and I was having real motivational problems, and was just a bit down in the dumps and struggling with shifting the weight, to be honest.
How did it make you feel at the time then?
I felt lethargic. I had no energy. I couldn't really understand because I'm quite a motivated person.
Mm.
Couldn't really get myself driven. Couldn't get myself started really, which is, I found you and decided to join your course then.
Had you tried anything yourself prior to speaking to me? Like, what sort of little stints had you tried?
Yeah, I'd been to a dietitian, and gone for a dietitian, and I'd lost quite a lot of weight during it, but it was really, really hard to maintain. It was eating every 3 hours. The food was quite there was a vast array of it, but it was still restricted.
Mm.
So I found it very difficult, especially with my work. Um, Trying to get to eat every 3 hours is really difficult for the job that I do. And yeah, I put the weight back on as soon as I stopped.
What was you? Did you have any sort of thoughts then? Obviously, we spoke. Did you have any thoughts or concerns about joining the program?
No, I just needed something different. I, I, I dieting hadn't worked. When I exercised, it was fine. I was able to, but then with this injury to my leg, I was struggling with the exercise as well. So I'd kind of got myself in a problem where I was overweight and I couldn't exercise with the injury, and dieting was just turning into a seesaw where I'd lose and gain. So I knew that wasn't the way because it has to be something sustainable, and whatever I was doing wasn't sustainable. And then when I saw your program, I thought it looked a bit different. It sounded sort of what I needed, so I thought I'd give it a try.
Okay. Obviously, you've been through that process, so you know the sort of the inner workings. But just taking yourself back to when you sort of found the program, what stood out to you as different at that time?
Um, that it wasn't a diet. It wasn't a diet plan. It wasn't a series of things to eat with other things. It wasn't complicated. It wasn't difficult. It was just a methodology of how you're eating and what you're eating, and it attracted me because it was something that could fit in with my life rather than me having to make my life about the diet, which is what's happened before. This is something that was about life changes, so it fitted in around me, which is what attracted me to the program, really.
And in terms of when you came on board, and obviously you've gone through the process, did it tick all those boxes?
Yeah, for sure. I was, it was what I was looking for, to be honest. It, small changes and that made long term slow differences. And now I've been in the program a while. It's really working for me.
Do you feel like they're embedded sort of changes now?
Yeah, some of the stuff from the beginning, certainly. I'm definitely, I keep myself hydrated properly, and I don't think about it. So every morning, I'm up with a glass of water. So the simple changes like that are now behavioural. I also automatically will. I'd say before I'd go for the comfort food.
Hmm.
Always going for the comfort stuff. Now I tend to, if I want something, I'll eat it, but I'll be sensible about what I'm eating around it. So I tend to, yeah. So I think it's given me a good grounding, and yeah, it's definitely, I've definitely changed how I eat now. But it
And
doesn't feel like it. But it's not a diet.
no diet plans or anything like that?
No,
Okay.
no
Do you,
plans. No, no,
do you feel like you miss out on certain foods, or do you feel like you can't have certain things?
no, no. I don't restrict myself on anything. Um, And yeah, no, I've during this whole program, I've drunk alcohol, I've eaten pizza, I've eaten curries, lots of curry, I've eaten sweets, so donuts, muffins. It's not like I've restricted anything. It's just about having a sensible idea of your day-to-day behaviors and what you're eating, and if you're improving it in certain areas, you can still eat those things. It's just you know knowing and understanding what you're eating and how much of it. So yeah, no, I haven't felt restricted at all. I've eaten what I've wanted to. It's just how I've been eating it that's been different.
Hmm. And I know obviously you're still on a journey here. You're not a finished product as such, but do you feel like you've
No.
lost a decent amount of weight? Are you happy with your results?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Nearly, it's nearly a stone and a half. I'm heading towards a stone and a half in 16 weeks. And I think that I can probably hit that stone and a half by the end of this month. Another 2 weeks, I think, 3 weeks possibly.
Hmm.
Again, all the way through the program, it's not been a target. I'm not aiming. I'm just doing the work, and then the results are coming. It's not like I'm focusing on on the scales. I'm not focusing on the numbers. I'm just doing what you've put out in front of me, and letting the results come that way. And I think that's also another thing about your program. It's not about calorie counting. It's not about what your weight is every week. You're weighing yourself, but you're not. It's not like right this week I have to be 3 pound lighter, 2 pound lighter, 1 pound lighter. It's not. Which makes it a lifestyle style change rather than a target that you drive really hard for a few weeks, and then as soon as you take your foot off the gas, you put the weight back on. This is more consistent.
And it's fair to say that you've had your challenges in the program, haven't you? It's not been the easiest ride for you.
No, no. So I've still had problems with my injury on the leg.
Mm.
And sometimes it's been weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, where my weight hasn't moved or my measurements haven't moved. Um, but that was quite significant for me. So my weight, I would fluctuate easily 3, 4 pounds. A couple of kilos in a week was quite a normal fluctuation. That stopped, and even for the weeks that I didn't move, I wasn't putting weight on. So it showed me that how I was eating had improved. My choices changed, and the process is working because it didn't feel like I was going, today I have to eat this, today I have to eat that. I was just eating what I wanted to, and it's still, I still maintained the weight when I was having issues on the program. So it was showing me that there is definitely something happening here.
And how do you feel now you've gone through that process?
Yeah, I'm really pleased. I'm in clothes that I haven't worn for a long time. And as you say, I've still got a long way to go. I'd still like to lose another stone and a half on top of this. But I certainly feel that I'm equipped with the tools to do it. I've proven over the last 16 weeks that it works, so I think that proving that to myself is good. So yeah, I feel equipped, and I don't have a worry that it's just natural. I'm not even thinking about it now.
Mm.
I just do, and it's just yeah, that's the ongoing process for me now.
And I think, it's fair to say that ultimately you led the way here. You put in the hard work. There was times where it was tough. There was a lot of travel, obviously the health issues. There was a lot going on at the time, but you stuck it. And that's for me, a testament to you that, you've done exactly that. You followed that process. You've not chased the numbers. You've kept your head above water, even when it's not felt like it's been going well. But I suppose that teaches you a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it does. And I think this is a different mindset on your program from other programs. Is sometimes if you drive really hard and you're chasing the figures and the numbers, and then you have a bad day or a couple of bad days where you've overeaten or you've eaten the wrong type of thing, you kind of the guilt trip sets in, and then you feel like you've lost that momentum. But this was never like that because there was never a set plan. You're eating around events, so it was just easier. It never felt like you're just getting okay. If you have a bad day, then the next day you just start the process again. But and that worked because when I did go out and for parties or events, or a drink at the weekends on different events, then by the Monday I just got back to the system and carried on. And the weight results showed that I hadn't put weight on. So it shows how effective it really is. Yeah.
Awesome. So in terms of, anyone watching this, if someone's thinking about obviously dropping me a message or getting on the phone, what would you say to them in terms of, doing that? What advice would you give to them?
Do it. If you're the sort of person that, like me's, kind of found themselves in a bit of a rut, not been able to get themselves motivated and moving, this whole process has been really simple. It's been really well laid out by Chris. It's not a diet. You aren't going to lose the foods that you like. You're not going to stop enjoying the ice cream or pizza or whatever you like. You can still drink alcohol. How you do it will change, but it's a plan that builds around your life and how you eat, rather than you having to change your life to fit a diet plan. And I think that's why it works, and I think that's why it's really strong.
Awesome. Well, Paul, thank you very much for your time, and obviously, I wish you all the best. And obviously, stay in touch.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll speak to you soon.
pleasure. Thank you very much.
Cheers, buddy. Bye.
Bye.